A very good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss the another basic concepts of Python. Here we have keywords. Keywords are actually known as the reserved words in Python. Reserved means which are predefined and we cannot change them. For example, here is a list of some keywords like and, del, from, not, while, as, and so on. So these all are basically the keywords. They have to be used as it is and they have a special meaning, so they cannot be changed and we cannot have variable names using these keywords. Okay, now when we come to the variables, as we have already discussed, in variables there is a naming convention. What if you want to club two words for a variable name? Like for example, here we have language underscore name equals to Python. So Python is a string here, and language underscore name, you want to write language name but you want two words separated with an underscore. So this is also possible. So this is the naming convention. We have joined two names together. Then over here, like language underscore name equals to Python, version is 3.6.0, introduced in the year 1991, is underscore awesome equals to true. That means these are different kind of values we are assigning to different variables. So when we talk about the type inference, basically it means that the first type that we have assigned to the variable language underscore name is of type string. Version is also having another string. Introduced equals to 1991 means this value is integer value, and is underscore awesome equals to true means true is a boolean value. Boolean values, either they are true or false. Anything which is non-zero represents true, anything which is zero represents false. And actually we can check the type of these values using the type function. If I am going to pass any of these value inside a type function, we can see over here in small it is written type, type function. So in the type function, if you pass any of the values, you will get returned with the type of the particular variable. Now strings, as we all know, so here is one string, I am a string. Another string is I am a string too. So here there is an error in the second string. I am a string is enclosed in single quotes, but there is a single quote after the first letter I also. So this is going to generate an error. So error is going to be a syntax error. This is invalid syntax. So how to correct this? By using the escape sequence. So this is the advantage of the special character. If you want to compress the meaning of this special character single quote, we have to use a backslash. This is known as the escape sequence. So the importance is, if in my string I want to use any apostrophe, right? So to suppress the meaning of this special character single quote, I have to use an escape sequence. Okay, so this string will be correct then. And this is all we know, that strings can either be enclosed in triple double quotes or triple single quotes like this. Two examples are given for long string. Now coming to the if statement, the programs also we have discussed. So the if statement is actually comparing over here two variables. First variable is people having the value 20, second variable is cats having the value 30. So we are comparing, if people is less than cats, we put a colon. Once you put a colon, you press the enter, automatically Python takes you to the next line, leaving the four spaces. So automatically four spaces are left, and then we write the print statement over here. The second if condition is comparing people greater than cats. Okay, and then we have the another print statement in the next line, leaving four spaces. So this is how we compare something using the if statement. Colon here basically means we are starting the block of the if. We can have any number of lines inside any if block. Next example is, what if I want to use something with the concept of otherwise. Over here we have else or elif. So the first statement is if statement. If people is less than cats, we print too many cats, we are doomed. Elif basically means that if in case the first condition is false, we will land to the elif statement in elif. Elif is basically the joining of else with if. Okay, if the first condition is false, we come to the next else, right, and we check the next if. So basically, going to the else if part in Python, we call it as elif. So elif means if the first condition is false, we land to this condition wherein people greater than cats. If this condition is true, then the print statement having not many cats, we are safe, will be printed. Otherwise, if both these top conditions are false, we land to the else part of the program wherein we are going to print we can't decide. Okay, so it depends upon the values the user is giving. So here in this example, the people is 20 and cats is 30. So according to this, first condition will be true. So once the first condition is true, only that particular message will be printed. As too many cats, we are doomed. That's it, and the program will terminate. It is not going to check in the elif statement. Okay, whereas this statement that we have already discussed, in this first condition will be checked, that will be printed, and the second condition will also be checked by the Python interpreter. But in the second condition, as it is false, it will not go into the if block. But checking is time consuming, so that's why we prefer using this elif statement. Now when we talk about comparators and boolean operators, here we are comparing 2 double equal to 1. Of course it is false because 2 is not equal to 1. So whenever we have to compare, we use 2 equal to sign. Single equal to sign is used for assigning a value to a variable, but double equal to sign is used for comparing the values. Second print statement is talking for the string. First string is in single quotes, second string is in double quotes. As both are strings, they both are equivalent. So this answer will be true. Print of not false. Not false basically means not of false will result into true. Not is also an operator in Python. Not of false will lead to true. So true will be printed. Next example is print 2 double equal to 1. This is actually false. False and true. Please make sure these not and next is the or operator. These are the operators in Python, right? So and is used to check both the conditions. If both the conditions are true, then only the answer will be true. So in the second last print statement, 2 double equal to 1 is false. That means false and true is going to result into false. Whereas in the last statement of the print, 2 double equal to 1 or true, that means either of them is true, the answer is going to be true. So in this case, the answer will be true. So this is the result of whatever we have discussed now. Okay, so this is the answer. Next we come to the for loop. What if I want to print the characters using a for loop? That means for char in hello colon. The meaning of this statement is, from this given string hello, one by one the characters will be fetched into the variable char. Okay, so here you can use any valid variable. For is a reserved word, it is a keyword. So for char in is the membership operator here. Okay, so in is going to extract the characters one by one from the given string hello. So first of all, h will be fetched into the variable char. We go into the for loop, we print that char. That means h will be printed. Okay, the moment I go to the next iteration in this loop, okay, after the print, it is going to print the next character in the new line. This is the speciality of the print function, that it prints the values in new line. Okay, so next character from the for loop will be e, which will be fetched into char variable. So next character printed will be e. Like this, all the characters will be printed in new line using the for loop. So for in, these are the reserved words here. Char, that means a variable, that is a user defined variable which can be any valid variable. So what if I want to fetch the second letter of this string hello? That means I want to access e from the hello string. So I have a variable with the name as say underscore hello equals to hello string. Then if I try to print, I am going to write say underscore hello in the square bracket 1. That means indexing. In one of my tutorial, I have already mentioned about indexing. Indexing takes place from 0. So h is at index number 0, e is at index number 1, and so on. Okay, this is known as forward indexing. So if I want to print the letter E, I have to mention 1 in the square brackets. That means at index number 1, the letter E will be printed. Okay. If I want to check the type of my this character, every character is of type str. Str means string type. So the answer returned will be in this form in the angular bracket class in the quotes str, because every character in this given string is also a string itself. Character is also a string, so the type will be str. Now what if you want to combine multiple strings using the concatenation plus operator? This also we have done. So use the plus operator and both the strings will be combined together. This is how Python is going to club two strings and will print the result. Okay, so the last example is print my plus name. So the answer will be my name. There is a space because with my there was a space. What if you want to repeat a particular string? This also we have done. We have to multiply with the number. This will be printed that number of times. Okay, and if I want to club in a print statement, I want to print in a single line. If you don't put a comma operator, print is going to take the control to the new line. Okay, if you want to continue writing in the same line, you want to print everything on one line, you have to use a comma operator. So here a equals to 3 and b equals to 5. So 3 times 5 is 15. So how we are going to write using the print function? In the print a, that is the value 3, 3 times 5 is 15. So this will be printed. So value and the string. If you want to club a particular variable with a string like this, so over here a is going to be a 3, comma means put a space. So 3 space, then times, then space, then b value is 5, then is answer will be 15. So this is going to work with the print function only, this comma operator. Okay, whereas in this given building the complex strings, if in this result variable I am writing like this, a plus times is a string, whereas b is a variable, then is a string, then a into b. Over here this is going to erase the error. The error will be type error because unsupported operand type s, right? That means over here we have not converted these variables because these variables are holding the integer values. A is holding 3 and b is holding 5. So we have to convert them into the string first. To save in a variable, if I have to save all these in a variable, then I have to convert these integer values into the string type first using the str function. Then only we can club these all strings, we can concatenate all these strings together, because we remember that string concatenation takes place with strings only. So string plus string is possible, integer plus string is not possible. Okay, and the next is string interpolation. This is something different. Here we have used mod d operator, right? So these are formats to format your given message. So in this blue box you can see there are certain specifiers. Mod is for formatting the strings, mod d for formatting the numbers. Numbers basically include your integer numbers, right? Even you use mod f is for formatting the floating point numbers. Mod r for the raw representation. All right, so here we have result equal to mod d times mod d is mod d. So here we are writing after this mod in the bracket, in the round brackets, a comma b comma a into b. That means this a which is integer, b is integer, and a into b is also integer. That's why we have used this kind of format for integers. That means for numbers, which format is used? Mod d. This is one way of representing string interpolation, right? Second way, that is a new way of writing any message like this in this format. We can use the curly braces, right? in place of mod d 3 times over here in this result equal to, we have used the pair of curly braces, then we have used dot operator, written format, then in the bracket a comma b comma a into b. So this is another way. So in place of the first pair of curly braces, a will be taken up, second pair will be taken up by b, and third pair of curly braces will be taken up by the result of a into b. Alright, the last concept for today's class will be string immutability. Immutable types are basically those types which cannot be changed in place. We cannot change any value in that string itself. Right, for example, here we have a variable say underscore hello, which is equal to this given string HELKO. So by mistake the user has written k in place of l. If I try to modify at index number 3 this k is, so if I want to modify this with the value l, this is going to raise an error. The error is the type error. Reason being because we cannot make any changes in a given string in place. That means using the indexes we cannot modify a string. If you want to modify a string, the best way is to reassign it to a valid string. So we have to again write like this, say underscore hello equals to the corrected string hello. Okay, so changes made in line are not possible with strings. Also other types like integer, float, okay, they are also of type immutable. If you want to correct, so changes cannot take place, okay, there and then, so we have to reassign with the corrected value. Okay, that's it for today's class. Thank you.